Hey guys, welcome back to Appalachia Fusion. We're totally garden season today. I am so excited to share this meal with you all, and it's going to be a beat up kind of day. So everything you see here, with the exception of my Granny Smith apple, lemon, and garlic, come out of Gardner off the farm or something I've hunted. Duck sausage, pork chops fresh from the farm, new potatoes dug last night, beets picked last night, and we'll go into a beet session in a little bit. No pun intended, because I can't beat, or anyways, I just cook. I'll stick with cooking. Anyhow. But cucumbers. So we'll kind of get started here. First thing we want to do is marinate our pork chops. Got just a very little bit of soy sauce, low sodium. It won't take much. Let me see here. Okay, yeah. So take one of them, put it in there, toss it around a little bit, and just get it good and covered here. Let me get over here where we see it. Gonna be real simple today. A little Asian flavor on the grill, and smoked salt and pepper, a little bit of red pepper flakes, very little. So we want to give it a generous amount of salt and pepper. A little bit of lemon, or a little bit of red pepper flakes. Like I said, very little. Just enough, just a kick with a bite. Okay, let's do our next pork chop. By the way, these are tiny chops, so they should be really good and tender. So we'll do that. A little salt and pepper. Flip it over. We're only going to put chili flakes on one side. A little bit of chili flakes. A little more soy sauce. Same old. Soy sauce. And it don't matter how you do it. You can do it front to back, side to side. You want to trim the fat off of them, you can, but you don't have to. So I hope everybody's garden is doing great. So far, we've been very, very blessed with ours. We picked over 3.5 bushel of beets last night. I've already canned, I don't know, probably 50, 60 jars of between white half runner and greasy grits, so I'm excited about that. And chow, we've been blessed so far. Now, let's get into the beet session. So these are beets, and I've raised beets for several years now. I've cooked a whole lot, and I thought I knew a little bit about cooking. Not everything, but a little bit there. People knows a lot more than me. So I sold a lady some beets, and she said, I want the beet tops. I said, why do you want beet tops? She said, because they're delicious. So I was like intrigued. So I got on my mountain telephone internet service, got on there and started typing up, just beet tops or beet greens. There are tons of recipes. I mean, tons. And they're as healthy as a root. So I felt bad that I always throw them away, because I know our Appalachia heritage, they cooked anything that was good. I mean, all of it. So we're going to do some sauteed beet tops and some beetroot salad both today. So on beets, you want to cut about 2 inches from a root, and that keeps it from bleeding out while you boil it. If you cut it at the top of it, more of the redness comes out of the beet into your water, and you don't want that to happen right now. These are very large beets, so we won't go ahead and drop these down our water so we can be ready for them. So we got another pot right there. Got our 2 beets in it, and we'll have to watch that and keep it from boiling over. Next is preparing our beet tops. I'm not going to use these right now because they've actually set out and wilted on me quite a bit. So we'll just set these over to the side. I do have some already pre-washed. that I washed earlier. We'll just have to go through them as we cut them up. I mean, they're just, and they're just beautiful. So you want to cut most of the stems out of them, big stems like you would if it was mustard greens or anything else. That's not the best flavor of any of them. So we're going to prep a bunch of these, probably rewash them again. Get the old yellow ones and stuff like that out of it. The ones, and then we'll get started in more on our beet top salad or beet top fried greens with our beet salad and our fried potatoes, and of course our grilled pork chops when we come back. So, like a lot of other greens, these are easy peasy is to do. You don't want to overthink it at all. The recipes I looked up, and there's several out there. So we're going to take this little bit of garlic. I love using dried, I call it fresh garlic, but anyhow, cloves. I just like the smell of it. You can also just buy it pre-cut, which we've used here several times. Pre-chopped or pre-minced. But I like it like this. So let's smash all this up and get it out of there like so. And you want the garlic to, the reason I like using this kind of garlic, and you could use the chopped garlic too, you want it to kind of be presence in your greens when you're looking at it. And you can really make these greens ahead of time, let them set, because everything like this, the longer it sets, it builds flavor, and you can warm it back up real easy. So, it makes it really easy to do that type. I got my skillet on too. Right now I got on high, just heat up, but we'll turn it down when we put the garlic in. What we're trying to do in a minute is make a garlic, crushed red pepper flavored oil like we've done here before, and it'll help season the beet tops. So anyways, let's try to get a couple more of these peeled real quick here. So interesting, and I'm not advertising, but my daughter is going into her junior year, so she's wanting to work and stay at home, which don't happen. And let me take it back. She's wanting to make extra money and stay at home. So I said, well, you got to work. And so we came up with an idea for her to do her own garden, sell some produce. And it's been really good for her to learn where the vegetables come from, how much hard work it is, and stuff like that. And that was the main goal, really. Julie and I, not her, really, because, making money as much as that, but to actually have a job where it's hands-on and work. And it's good to teach your kids and grandkids or whatever that, because, a lot of kids think, even kids my age, even when I was going to school, think, hey, our animals and our vegetables, they used to come from the store. They don't know where it originates from. And that's important for kids to know. That way they can choose what they want to eat. They have different options. Let's put a little salt and pepper on this garlic. Let's do it the other way. The salt, the reason I'm using salt and pepper is just handy. It helps crush that garlic up a little bit. I've showed you all that trick before. And it releases the oil and flavors in it. So we want to chop that up. Watch a knife blade. I have been cut a few times. It's never fun. Garlic is super fun to raise too, but I'm telling you, it takes so much garlic and space to mount to anything that it is one of those things, I hate to say it, just go and buy it. Just go and buy you a jar of garlic and be done with it, or some garlic powder. I mean, it's fun, experience it for a time or two, but it takes up, a pretty good space, and it takes a lot to make anything, especially if you dry it out. So you end up with a bunch of garlic to start with, you end up with a little tiny jar of powder. Let's chop it up just a little bit more. While I see our beets boiling good and our potatoes boiling good. And that potato recipe is so easy. I think y'all really like it a little bit. And it's simple, it just really brings the flavor. Oh yeah. Flavor of the potatoes out. Let's turn it back down and set it off a minute. Let me grab a spatula. Wrong drawer. So we want to stir in our garlic. We don't want to burn it either. That's why I took it off that burner, so we can just get us a little flavory one here. Very little red pepper flakes. That helps the oil kind of give a little spice to it. Maybe a quarter of a half of a teaspoon or something. They're not much anyways. Okay, now let's put that back on there. Fire, get it going. We want to stir this up, let it get heated up, probably 2, 3, 4 minutes. I got it down on about medium heat according to the hot plate here. And our greens, we just want to, I don't care how you do, you can fold them and twist them and do it however you want to. Just chop them up, give them a decent chop, because they're going to cook down. But you still don't want big old, just thick pieces of greens. So I like chopping them up to where when they cook down, they're still a little bit fine. But they still got, they're real earthy smell. Me and Jonathan was talking about when we was off camera that you could actually smell them. And it's hard to explain. It's just a nice earthy, deep earth smell. And we took most of the big stems out. There's still a few of them in it. And these should cook down like any other green. I know it looks like I won't have a pan full, but it'll slowly cook down to where you'd be like, where'd my greens go? Did someone come in and eat some of them while my head was turned? Anyways. So let's give these some more chopping. I haven't studied them enough, no joke, because I was honest with you guys that I did not know that you could eat beet tops till last night. You might be able to even put them, like, pre-cook them like you can greens and freeze them for later. I don't know. I will find out, though. So let's take this off our burner for a minute. Well, it gives me time to get them in there. I was wanting to make a pan full, that's why I didn't process them all yet. Okay. So we really just set them over and let them start cooking down some. If you want to add a little more oil or just a touch of water, put a lid on them, be fine. It won't hurt so they steam while they cook. But we got plenty of time while the beets, so we'll just use your hand and your hand's clean. Use your hand and this, just slowly start mixing that olive oil in with them. You're gonna have some come out who ain't never cooked, and if you've cooked, had a clean kitchen when you get done, then you probably ain't cooked much. I get it all over the place. I ain't saying like Mama, she'd clean as she went, but I'm talking about if you don't have a mess, you probably ain't much going on there. So I think I'm going to be a little dry on the oil, just looking at it. So I'm going to add a little more olive oil to it. I know I got plenty of garlic. So just a little to add olive oil. Then I am going to put a lot of salt and pepper on it. And this is smoked salt and pepper that we made. I was thinking green onions may even be good with this. I don't know. At the end, you put some lemon in it. And that gives it, I guess, a little more taste, tart taste to it. I don't know if y'all can see this, but it looks really good. You can smell those flavors coming out in it. And it's already cooked down quite a bit. So I'm going to check our beets and our potatoes and let these cook on down and be back. So we're actually going to grill our pork chops because we're getting ready to finish our potatoes and beet salad. And so I preheated my grill pan in the oven. Now I got it on high, so we'll see. Actually, one thing that is handy to do here is take you just a handful of paper towels. And it don't hurt because that is steaming hot. So you see how hot it is. We want to let it cool down a little bit. So let's get that over there. But we want to oil it and clean it, and this will do that. We don't set no smoke alarms off. So anyways, we'll let that cool for just a minute. We're all looking at smoke alarm. But yeah, I had it preheated in the oven, and we'll put it back in the oven in a minute. But let's cool the pan down by putting our pork chops on it. So I turned that back down to 2. We want grill marks, we just don't want the smoke. And I think no bigger than pork chops is here, which should make them really tender. They all should fit in our pan in one lick. And you can smell the soy sauce and Asian flavors there. So let's throw this in the sink. Not literally, but you know what I meant. Let's get our pork chops grilling. Like if you don't have access to a grill, you ain't gonna get the charcoal flavor and stuff, but you will get the pretty grill marks. And how these pans are elevated grill marks, the grill things in them, all your oil drops down so your meat ain't sitting there in your oil. And what we'll do, we'll grill these on each side, and then we'll throw them in the oven and finish. See, that's got real pretty grill marks. And you could let it sit there and get a little darker if you wanted to. But we don't want to. We're going to mark them. We'll flip them over. And then finish in the oven. Probably 15, 20 minutes in the oven. We'll let them sit here and cook just a second while I get my other iron skillet out. We'll use this one for the potatoes. So, you can really smell that soy sauce and stuff in it. I do want to put just a little bit of glaze on it. This is oyster flavored sauce. It's a Chinese sauce, but very little. We'll spread it out with tongs in a minute. Oh. Or let's just use our blue spatula here. Just spread it out, and we'll just put it on one side too. It's got strong flavor on it, so you don't really need it on both sides. It just complement the soy sauce and bring it on out. It's really what it's going to do. So let's wrap this up so I don't burn my hand and put in another. Next is, excuse me, let me go through these with you. Put my pan on here so it'll actually be warming up a little bit. This are beets. They still like just a little bit to cook them, and we'll do this salad last. So let me put it back on the stove. Our potatoes are actually ready to dump. If you don't have a colander, you can very carefully do it this way. We do have one here, I just don't have it handy. Take your paper towel and that, just dump it in the sink. Watch the steam, dump it away from you. Okay. Let's take a look at our new potatoes. Let's turn our burner off. Steam, we won't have to worry about it as much. Hopefully it ain't steaming too much up. So, I mean, they're fork tender, that's what you want. So in our pan, we got some butter. We're just gonna let it start melting in there. Turn it on high. And there are a couple of things we could do here if we wanted to. And I don't think I'm going to do it today, but I wanted to bring it, show y'all this dish. I just ain't feeling duck sausage now this evening, so I apologize for that. But I do want to go over this. You could do the same thing with deer sausage. You could do it with not summer sausage, but smoked kielbasa or whatever. You could take this, cut it up, and make your regular new potato sausage and onions and peppers. Like I said, I'm not feeling that with this meal, but if you didn't want to cook none of this other, and you want to get a good garden meal, get you some big green onions out of the garden, new potatoes, do it like this. Cut your summer sausage or your kielbasa up, put it in your pan, fry it, throw your potatoes and onions in it, fry it all up, makes a great meal. But we're not doing that today. But it does make an awesome meal. We probably have cooked it at some point on here. So I want to dump my potatoes out and try to keep them from rolling everywhere. Because we're going to fry these up like Mama fried them. And that's how she would do that. She'd part cook them and then fry them in butter. So we want it to where they're going to be laying face down so this part gets crispy. And we're also going to add just a little bit more garlic to that in a minute. Actually, we might just use garlic powder. The little ones leave whole because they'll crisp up pretty good. Okay. So just start placing them in there. You smell that good old butter? And we're really just frying these in butter. Yes, sometimes I leave the skin on them. Sometimes I take a little light brush where they're new potatoes and it'll come right off. Oh. You don't need to add a lot of seasoning to this at all. I got some fresh rosemary that I took out of the garden. And if you have a few extra like these right here, just throw them on top. And as you get cooking them, frying them, move them around, they'll get crispy. you know, they'll all get a turn to. So don't laugh at me. I put my herbs in the envelope because that's what was the easiest thing to get to. So I got a few fresh herbs here. Ones I was mostly wanting, I don't want no sage, but I was wanting this rosemary. Rosemary and butter goes great with potatoes. And it don't take a lot of rosemary to overpower it. So we want to put a little bit of dried rosemary in there. And they'll actually get in there with the butter and make a good flavor, and that butter will be infused in the potatoes. So that's plenty of that. Let's get just some powder, garlic powder. It suits this dish a little bit more because you want the flavor, but you don't want the big chunks of garlic in that. And just let them sit there and fry. Don't stir them. Don't move them a lot, because the more you stir them and move them, the more they're going to break apart and be more like chunky fried potatoes. Or you want to try to leave that whole look for when we get done with them. And like I said, I'm not going to finish I ain't going to put the duck sausage in it. But if you wanted to make a meal like that, I'm trying to get my lid out. I dropped. So I wouldn't lose it. But if you want to make that meal, that's a real good summertime meal. Just sausage, onions, potatoes. Makes it great, easy. Throw it on pan, hot supper. Let's peel some, these are garden cucumbers out of garden. Already cut the ends off of them, that side. Just roughly peel them. This is going to be part of our beet salad in a little bit. You don't have to peel them completely. That you're cooking for my dad, and you better peel them completely because he won't eat them. But I like leaving some nutrients on them. But he is coming around to some different things. Sometimes he's in a good mood. He'll try stuff, but he's old-fashioned. And Odie's going to see this, and he'll laugh at it because he knows what I mean. But he was growing up that way, you know. He likes his fried food. He likes his garden food, but he likes it how, you know, Mama made it and his Mama made it. But there's so much more you can do here, especially now in the Appalachia Mountains. Dad probably, you know, they had a big family, so they lived off their garden, whatever. I just want to take some peeling off of it. I want to leave a little bit of that green. But they lived off land, stuff like that. We have more access to more ingredients, more spices, and stuff like that in today's times that we can knock these dishes up a little bit and make them taste a little different. And maybe back then they would have too. They had access to them. So just leave potatoes alone. They're going to do their thing. I'm going to go ahead and slice my cucumber in about 1/4 inch slices or so, something close to that. I love cucumbers. We got our first ones about 3 weeks ago in the garden. And I started making 14-day pickles already. I got like 9 gallons in crocks. The 14-day pickles was crazy at the house because everybody wants them, and I'm the one that makes them. So I got like crocks all over the counter, and Julie's about to go nuts. And so another 2 weeks, all of them be done. Or not hardly 2 weeks. But it's fun to give them out and see people enjoy. So set them to the side for now. Let's check one of our potatoes. See how it's crisping up. That's what you want it to look like. Just like that. So we'll actually maybe flip some of them. Some of them ain't hardly as crispy as that. But you just want to let it get that way all the way around them. Even the skin side, where we put the garlic on it. I still got it up on 4 on high. You can see the color start. By the way, these are new potatoes, but they're the Yukon Gold variety. That's the kind we planted this year for, because we'll have our potatoes eaten before it's time to put them up this winter. We just like new potatoes. So just let them keep doing their thing. Let's see how our pork chops look. Then we'll get on to the beet salad. I mean, these look just fabulous. So we're going to turn that down. We don't want to overcook pork chops and we don't want to burn them. So I'm going to turn that down on probably like 250. Just so they kind of stay warm. Our beets should be ready to go. So let's take a fork, see if they're tender enough. They're really, really close. You want, in this dish, this kind of beet, you want it to where it's got texture, a little more bite to texture instead of like a canned beet. So we're gonna let them cook just for a few minutes, and when we come back, we'll plate everything up and fix our beet salad. Welcome back. We're plating up and ready to go. You can see everything except pork chops because they're kind of like finishing. You can see it all crisping up, and it's, you know, potatoes where you want them at, everything's where you want them at. So now we're making a beet salad, and our beets are cooling. Got some cucumbers. And this is just a refreshing type. I don't know how to explain. You can eat a few beets and cucumbers and get a bite of this and acidic flavors and stuff like that in it. And it's really good. So you've got some apple in it. So, and you leave it peeling on the apple in this. It's Granny Smith. And you want to cut everything up in quarters. Small pieces anyways. Apples are going to give it a crunch with the walnuts, and it goes together. So that's where your flavors bond right there. If you want them up a little bit smaller, you can. It's up to you. I like them about that size, but anyways. Now the beets. This is where it gets messy and your hands get red. And I got like a bushel of these doing that. So next time you see me, my hands are, because I wear gloves for the first part of it. Then I'll start doing it without gloves before you know it, your hands are red. You say, the heck with it. So. And the idea is to put these in bite-sized pieces. But yeah, let's not forget our lemon because we need it for both dishes. But it won't take much of it. This is a big lemon. Okay. So, cucumbers can be a little bigger. And this, I know it sounds strange, there's a lot of different flavors, but from the walnuts to the sweetness to the lemon to the cucumbers, beets, it kind of, when you make it, you'll see what I'm talking about. I hope. So take your beets, sprinkle on it like that. And this is just a good summertime earthy flavors. Take your apples. You don't have to put as many apples on it. Depends on how much you like apples. You won't be putting no salt, pepper, nothing like that on it. Take you just a little bit of lemon on this. Just squirt it, just very little on it. Take your walnuts if you want them chopped more. I think the knife might well just get some out here and chop them. Cut board was clean. Or you can buy them completely chopped up. Throw you a few walnuts on it like that. And this is one of those dishes you'll probably either love, hate, or whatever, but you let the flavors of the ingredients stand for their own and let them complement each other. Then we got some feta cheese. I'm gonna just put very little bit of it on top of it. Okay, that's side dish number one. Summertime. We grab our pork chops. And they look absolutely beautiful. So, how I would plate this, I'd take my beet tops, I'd spread them out just like so. And I honestly, and I've said it 2 or 3 times already in this show today, that I did not know that you could eat beet tops, and I snuck a bite of them. See what, they're pretty good. If you like greens, you'll like them. If you don't like greens, you won't. So it reminded me a little bit more of arugula than anything. You've had it, that spicy flavor. Okay. Then of course I'd lay my beautiful pork chops out on it. But however you want to, you can do that. But anyways, there was good with, okay. Then last but not least, put your roasted potatoes around it. Just like so. Trying to concentrate so I don't drop something that goes in the floor. Too much good eating here to be wasting in the floor. Then I would, let me regrip here. Put a little bit of this butter and oil on the potatoes, very little, won't take much. That rosemary coming out, garlic. You can even take a few apples if you want to decorate it up nice and make your other dish. Pork and apples always goes together. Want some walnuts? What happened, those apples and these walnuts will go down into the greens whenever you lift your pork chops up. So you take that, make it match. Put a little bit of lemon juice around so it'll soak in the bottom of the pan, go into your greens. And really this 2 beets, apples, cucumbers would make double that, but I just made 1 dish of it. Set this to the side. So here's your dishes for today. When this airs, give us a day or 2 or a week, and you can go on the food part of MTTV down bottom, click on it, and go in and watch past episodes on YouTube, see upcoming stuff, and see recipes and stuff like that. Follow us, watch us. We appreciate you guys, the MTTV, for letting us do this. You guys for watching us, viewers. And I love to see you out in public. I've met so many people. Y'all come, hey, I seen you on TV. You don't know who I am then, and I don't know who you are, but I love to meet you. So come up and talk to me. If you have a question, I can help you about food. I'd love to. Love this community. We love you guys and love y'all watching us, and appreciate y'all tuning in from week to week. Thanks, and have a good day.